Hello, welcome to today's immigration tidbit. Have you committed a crime, or are you not sure if you committed a crime, or has the immigration consequences of the crime changed, thereby making you fearful that you will be placed into removal proceedings? This would be known as retroactivity. So, what exactly is retroactivity? Well, that is when you have committed some type of crime, whatever it happens to be, and the immigration laws at the time that you committed the crime did not make you removable, or if they made you removable, the consequences were of one particular nature that maybe were not very severe at all. And then Congress passed a law, or the states passed laws, which then made it so that this particular crime either became a crime or made it so that it made the consequences much more severe. So the question you have to ask then is, if you committed a crime 10 years ago that really had no immigration consequences and now it makes you removable, do you have to fear being put in removal proceedings? And the answer is, well, theoretically, you do have to fear it. The constitutional protections of due process would mandate that you should not have to worry. So even if you get put into removal proceedings, you should be able to fight insofar as saying that your constitutional rights against retroactivity are being violated. And what does that mean? Well, it's exactly what would happen in the example as I have given, that you do something one day that doesn't have immigration consequences, whereas later that exact same act would have consequences, but you didn't know it obviously at the time that you committed the crime because you had no notice that it would be unlawful or make you removable. And so it is really a notice issue. Retroactivity really is a notice issue to make it so that you are aware of the crime and what the consequences should be. Now, obviously, if everybody could go into court and go, well, I didn't know that stealing gum was illegal, then no laws would ever go into effect. So it doesn't matter whether you, honestly, whether you really, really knew of all the consequences. The fact is whether it was on the book or not, and whether or not, the retroactivity is built into the crime. Now, there are some immigration laws, unfortunately, that specifically state that that law is retroactive and does apply to previously committed crimes. Now, the fact that they put that in there does not make the Constitution disappear. I would still fight it. Okay, if that was put into the law and you were brought into removal proceedings because of that, and the only reason you were brought into removal proceedings is because of the retroactivity of a particular law, you would fight it at the immigration court level, which they couldn't do anything about it because it has to do with the Constitution. You would fight it at the BIA level, the Board of Immigration Appeals, and they couldn't do it because they only do what's dealing with precedent and so forth. Once you got up to the Circuit Court of Appeal, you'd make the constitutional arguments, or reiterate the constitutional arguments of the fact that retroactivity should not be applied to you because of the Constitution and lack of due process. Okay? The reason I said earlier the states might be involved is not dealing with immigration laws, but they may say, well, acts A, B, and C now make a crime, whereas 5 years ago, A, B, and C did not make a crime. And if you committed A, B, and C years ago, and now they come after you and try to prosecute you, you'd have the same arguments. Okay, it applies whether it's to retroactivity of new immigration laws and regarding removability and so forth, or in states whether or not crimes are now crimes that didn't used to be crimes, and whether they can go after you. Okay?